Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshయం Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. His Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti has his 5 phase, Agora Murti has his 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has his 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase, Ishana Murti has his 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagwan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam has made Science of Power Manifestation Yoga temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam and Nityananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time-capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Surya Vamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagwan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nityananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Nityananda, Jnanapadati for the powerful cognition, for the power of depth. Now let's listen to the powerful cognition from Bhagavad Gita Satsang.
Chapter Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, 23rd verse.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñaya charata karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñaya charata karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñaya charata karma samagram praviliyate.
Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñaya acharata karma samagram praviliyate. Duties that are performed as an act of adoration by the one in whom attachment has ceased, who is relaxed and whose reasoning faculties settled in consciousness, completely dissolve, bear no binding result. 3 technical terms you need to understand in this verse. Gata sangasya muktasya, unattached to the modes of material nature, means, see that material nature is to drive you with the fear or greed. It is very nature of the matter you are carrying, not just a matter of nature which is driving you. Because you are carrying the body, you can be driven only by fear and greed. It is not just the driver's mistake, it is a vehicle's mistake also. The vehicle, your body itself is a matter. Just 2 days before I was discussing with some of our ashramites about these administration rules. That time I was sharing an important insight which I wanted to share with all of you. Now, by the nature of the biomemory, human beings need to be feeling certain level of fear and greed. If you don't even provide that much of material for them to be afraid of something and to be greedy of something, they will feel so empty inside. They will create unnecessary phobias. Height of fear. Suddenly something will happen. The unnecessary, reasonless, causeless phobias settle in your system. If enough fear and greed is not supplied to your basic biomemory by your nature, just because you are carrying a human body which is programmed with fear and greed, certain amount of fear and greed is required even to drive you. That becomes survival necessity. The administration is supposed to take care. You don't create the fear and greed in everybody the same level. No. There are some people, a little bit of fear and greed is enough. They will be full, they will run, start driving. There are some people, maybe more fear and greed is required for them to run. Some people who need more fear and greed, if you give them less fear and greed, they are in danger. Now they will start creating unnecessary phobias. Please understand. Many of your unnecessary phobias are created when you try to protect yourself from the basic amount of fear and greed which is required to run your life. I have seen many people, they try to protect themselves from the basic fear and greed which is needed to run their life without purifying their biomemory. If you purify your biomemory by actions, karma, and evolve, then move out of fear and greed, nothing wrong. You will be liberated. But without making your biomemory mature, if you try to move out of fear and greed, I can give you this one example. People who leave everything and go for Parivrajaka, Yatra, Agori lifestyle, Nagas, without maturing your biomemory, if you leave everything and go, the small phobias, phobia of cockroach, phobia of scorpion, phobia of snake, small fears will take over your inner space. You will develop unnecessary phobias. I have seen there was a sadhu who had a phobia about rivers. See, if you go near a river and have a fear that suddenly some flood may come, I will be flooded, that is okay. He will not even go on a bridge, well-built bridge where buses and trains can go. No. Forget about going on a bridge. He will not even see the river from the distance. How many phobias are there? God. When I read the list, I got the phobia of phobias. Phobias are pseudo-fear, perverted fear, like how pornography is perverted lust. Phobias are perverted fears. Never pornography lust can be transformed because it is perverted. It is impossible to transform it. Nor the phobias can be cleared because it is perverted. Impossible to clear. Almost.
Akashic Readings.
On your non-mechanical parts of the brain and the inner space, you can be free of this. By the mode of the material nature, you are driven by fear and greed. Mature your biomemory, then liberate yourself from the fear and greed. Before maturing your biomemory, if you try to escape from fear and greed, you will create unnecessary phobias. I have seen many sadhus. They try to escape from fear and greed give up all their wealth, property, life, run away. But they have not matured their biomemory by building a yogic body and Vedic mind. When they go there, I see very clearly they are caught in the greed of polishing their kamandalu, fear of losing the 2 feet by 2 feet place where they sit and beg. I have seen sadhus literally beating each other, fighting with each other with their stick just for the place where they stand and beg. And when I investigated into their life, they have left crores worth of property in their hometowns, came out and became sadhus. It's true. It is not that they are born beggars. They left everything. One sadhu I remember very clearly, who had a huge property in Haryana, who was a farmer. Suddenly he got vairagya and left everything and went away. He was staying in Rishikesh. Maybe after 5-6 years, all his vairagya went down, his inspiration is gone, but his ego, he doesn't want to go back to his house and reclaim his property. So he is sitting there itself. His bio-memory is not matured, but he has given up the fear and greed. What happens? I saw him fighting for the place, small 2 feet by 2 feet, on the banks of Ganges, where they sit and beg. That's a prime spot. Understand, when your bio-memory is not matured, this happens. Many times, even in the West I have seen, when people come to me for phobias, to get healed of phobias, all I do is I give them some real fear, straightforward fear. Immediately they come out of phobias. Phobia is perverted fears which happens in you when your biomemory is not matured enough to handle the fearless, greedless zone, but you are forcing yourself into fearless, greedless zone. I always tell people, make your biomemory matured by building the yogic body and Vedic mind. Then go for the parivrajaka. Go for yatra. Before that, if you do, you will only be caught in unnecessary phobias, not in fearless zone. First technical term you need to understand in this verse is gatasangasya muktasya. The very mode of the material nature, fear and greed, be liberated from that. Means let your biomemory be matured. Maturing your biomemory can be done only by 2 ways. One, again and again and again and again, reading the spiritual truths, even if it is same. For 10 years, I read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna every night. Never felt bored of the spiritual truths. Sometimes the spiritual truths create guilt in you because you feel you are reading but you are not practicing, or you are failing. Then you stop reading. No. Whether it creates dissatisfaction in me, greed in me, or fear in me, I am not going to stop. Again and again and again, without feeling boredom, tiredness, guilt, listening to the spiritual truths, internalizing the spiritual truths. Now I am making a new playlist in the YouTube. The title Guaranteed Solutions. I'm going to give you 1008 guaranteed solutions for different problems. So you have any problem, just type guaranteed solutions and the problem's name. You have it. Again and again and again, without boredom, tiredness, guilt, fear, suffering, discontentment. Because when you read the spiritual truths again and again, all this is possible. When I tell something to people second time, third time, they tell, you break my self-confidence by constantly telling this. I tell them, okay, whether you feel guilt or discontentment, your self-confidence is breaking, suffering, go on listening to these great truths and go on internalizing it. It is not that always when I read Ramakrishna's Gospel, I was feeling very pleasant and happy to read further. Many times I felt, oh, I am not executing these words. I have to live these words. There was millions of struggle. Sometimes I won't even feel like reading the next page. I'll feel, let me complete this. Let me master this one truth. Then I'll go to the next. All kinds of mood swing. All kinds of thinking. All kinds of discontentment. All kinds of dissatisfaction. All types of guilt. I have seen everything. Of course, on a different scale. The scale in which you see is very different. The scale in which I see is different. It's like yesterday I described. When I give you one word, drop TV and internet, and if you are struggling with that one word and having the guilt, that is different level. And you are struggling to drop the insight visualization and having the guilt, that is different level. Understand? Those experiences were there and went on drilling the biomemory with these raw spiritual truths.
How beautiful Bhagavan said, how he went on drilling with the raw spiritual truth. Now, with that, let's go to the Shastra Pramana for the power of depth.
Dimension is taken from the Shiva Sutras, verse 1.16. Shuddha tattva sandhanadva apashu shaktihi. Shuddha tattva sandhanadva apashu shaktihi.
Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.16. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the self and aiming at the pure essence, cognizing from the depth of one's being, and that exists is Paramashiva. The pure essence and attaining and uniting with that pure essence and the existential reality, Paramashiva, he experienced Paramashiva, manifests Paramashiva's infinite power. Such a depth in the sutra, giving us the depth of the sutra, Bhagavan says how the satsanga, continuous satsanga is required. Unbroken, Bhagavan says a beautiful word, unbroken, continuous satsanga. The Vata Varana is required for us to break our delusion. Constantly we have been deluded into the outer world. Even if we don't want, as a reaction, it just happens. And then Bhagavan says, we are in guilt, we are in anger, we are in all kinds of emotion. But only the satsanga can break that reaction and bring this reaction into it. Hey, I learned this. Can I use this? There will be a thought when you're just soaked in the satsanga. Continuous reading, continuous listening of Bhagavan's words simply will manifest Paramashiva for you, who you are and who your experience should be. Bhagavan so beautifully said and played the Leela of how he went through all these things as Paramashiva, who has come down in physical body, playing the Leela of a human being, experiencing guilt, all anger, and how he says, Pattinathar with his colleague came and sat down in the temple, leaving everything. But then, when Pattinathar was asked, somebody like, where is this person? He said, he's a samsari sitting the other side. Why he's a samsari, even though he's a beggar, he left everything, is because he was taking care of a dog. He left everything, but he was connected to a dog. Bhagavan beautifully says, the person leaves everything, then fights for the beggar's place or beggar's bowl. It's so funny that we are not able to leave our decision, our way of thinking, our way of planning, everything inside us. Outside renunciation is not what Bhagavan is looking for. Inside renunciation of only Paramashiva should reside, and literally getting soaked in that space, soaked in the space again and again, continuously. Bhagavan says, for 10 years, Buddha stayed under the Bodhi tree for 12 years before he got enlightened. He tried everything. Then he understood, I'm going to declare that till my body evaporates, I'm going to be soaked in that space. Then only he got enlightened immediately. When you're only soaked in that, completely in the depth of it, then something else happens, breaks open the time, and new consciousness happens in you. Such a powerful cognition Bhagavan has given. With that, let's move to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana, pulling the object closer to us. So beautiful. Life of Adi Shankara. This is in Shankara Divvejaya, Canto 5, Chapter 5. Embracing Sannyasa. He was playing with objects so beautiful. One, he brought the river for his mother, told the river so that the mother doesn't have to go very far. She can just take a bath in a very close place. The river came at the backyard of the mother's house. He moved, not only that, he got the wealth showered on this poor lady when she said, I have only one gooseberry to offer. He got the crocodile to hold him so that he can take sannyas, telling his mother, the crocodile will eat me if you don't approve of it. He placed the Leela of all that to really manifest the Paramashiva space in him. Adi Shankara was Paramashiva himself on planet Earth. So beautiful. He changing the direction of river Purna to flow through his mother's home. So beautiful. We'll go to the Atma Pramana. Atma Pramanas are the Leelas of Bhagavan.
The uniqueness of this sutra is, I myself experience this sutra spontaneously. My first experience, the spiritual experience, is this sutra. So, I have a lot to tell about this sutra, you have a lot to learn. Feel the cosmos as a translucent, ever-living present. The first sutra of Upanishad, the first Upanishad, Isavasya Upanishad, is the same sutra. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. In Upanishad, it is given more like a conclusion. In the sutra, it is given more like a technique. Maybe I'll describe exactly the experience which I had. That can give you an idea of what Mahadeva means by the word translucent, ever-living presence. Understand? Only after this first experience, I realized I have something different in me. Till then I never had an idea that I have something different in me. I was always feeling that all kids will have this kind of ideas or search or seeking, whatever I had. Only the first experience gave me a distinct opening or experience, because of which I started understanding something is different. Feel the cosmos as translucent, ever-living presence. I can say very clearly, when I read these lines, I know how best I can verbalize, because this is the best verbalization of what I experienced around the age of 12. I was sitting in the foothills of Arunachala, not seriously trying to meditate, not like I was given a technique and I was trying to concentrate. No, nothing like that. Of course, I was given a simple meditation technique by an enlightened master, Annamalai Swamigal, but I was not trying to do it very seriously. It was very playful. But one thing, I was a child who is completely open and available to the nature, very, I can say, intensely observing, intensely being in the present. Even now, I can vividly describe the whole scene. For spiritual experience to happen, two things is required. One, you completely being open and available. You completely being open and available to your surroundings. And the intense spiritual energy field. Sometime, even if you are open, if you are not in the energy field, the first cracking of the coconut won't happen. That is very strong, difficult job. The first opening of the coconut, or the first opening, of course, it is just like breaking the coconut. Once one opening happens, after that it is not a big difficult thing. It's very easy. But the first opening needs an intense spiritual energy field. Fortunately, I had the energy field, Arunachala, the incubator, spiritual incubator. And another one thing, fortunately I was attracted to the beauty of that hill. If you see a hill or a river or an ocean every day, you will take it for granted. But somehow, I never took that hill for granted. I never thought I know about it. I was continuously open, available, understand? Being open every time, every day morning, seeing it with eyes of freshness or with the mind of the openness is what I am saying, being open, being
Beautiful, Bhagwan. So beautifully said. How the hill pulls him close to the hill and how he experiences and how he's open to the experience, how the incubator is so much required. Now, Apta Pramana, we'll go to the Shakshi Pramana. Millions of disciple devotees have manifested the powers and given their testimonials and initiated by Bhagwan. Let's go to the Shakshi Pramanas. So amazing how the object is moving. Now we can go to the instruction of the power of manifesting the depth, the dimension, pulling the object closer to us, and the pratyaksha pramana.
Pratyaksha pramana, scientific studies. What can be measured? Measuring the effects of being in enlightenment state. Vedic sciences have always maintained that consciousness is the very substance of space and time. His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Paramahamsa Nityananda, has clearly defined the existence of 11 dimensions of consciousness. As per his elucidation, space can exist by itself. On the other hand, time can exist only in the presence of space, but can still exist without other dimensions, including the obvious ones, depth, length, and breadth. Source from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 2, Consciousness, page 83. In quantum terms, thought too is energy. Every cell of our body produces thoughts in the form of signals, which may be electrical, chemical, or otherwise. These can be measured in TPS, or thoughts per second. The normal TPS of the average human being can be hundreds of or thousands. Some thoughts are processed consciously, while others are processed unconsciously. A TPS of 0 is the state of Advaita, or enlightenment. Space is made up of strings of potential energy, which are in constant vibration, spanda, leading to the creation of virtual particles. This is a very basis of the Vedic truth of consciousness. In the Avatar Shastra, Swamiji mentions quantum physicist Amit Goswami's article about entanglement between two people. Quantum physicist of Indian origin, Amit Goswami, made two people meditate together. They were separated in two chambers, one person in each. When one person had a light stroked at his eye, it caused the firing of certain frequency in the brain. Remarkably, at the same moment, the other person's brain also fired, even though he never saw the light. This proves that the energies of people intuitively affect each other.
There are two kinds of movement in the world. One kind of movement is maximum speed limit with the speed of light. That's the kind of movement that is allowed in the domain that we call space and time. That's where matter moves, that's where things look diverse. But the other kind of domain is where the speed of communication is infinite. We call it non-local. That's the domain of potentiality. And if there is instant connection in that domain, then do you see, it got to be one. If things are instantly interconnected, that interconnectedness is oneness. That is the oneness that mystics and spiritual teachers talk about. That is the oneness. So simply by recognizing that objects are possibilities, we are looking at a oneness. And then it's just a question of language. Question of language. What should I call this oneness?
Whole brain activation studies were done on Nityananda Gurukul students. The Bender-Gestalt test assesses the level of whole brain activation, the student's ability to see the big picture and recall the details of it. It is more than an IQ test. It was showing outstanding results on the memory ability of the Gurukul students. It is very unusual for students to remember such a high number of Gestalt forms. Each Gurukul student attended to the test card carefully and persistently transposed the Gestalt form. Remaining calm, cool, and collected, they initially approached each Gestalt form with a keen observation and analysis of the form, and then exhibited a steady perseverance, attending 8-minute details. Source Avatar Shastra, Chapter 8, Third Eye Awakening, page 177. Charting Future Terrain with Higher Education. This article explores the role of contemplative practices within an emerging interdisciplinary area that are referred to as creativity and consciousness studies. Within the new area, consciousness is studied from an integral perspective that brings together insights from a range of wisdom traditions and modern science. Meditation is presented as an essential first-person modality for investigating consciousness, and formal and non-formal approaches to meditation and delineated to establish important guidelines for the introduction of meditation into an academic setting. The role of first-person experience helps to develop new notions of rigor and interdisciplinary learning that can lead to an expanded educational experience, which can help to develop qualities such as mental clarity, inner calm, insights, compassion, and creativity. The article closes with reflections on the importance of expanding our approach to education in light of the demanding challenges and creative opportunities in today's world. Source: Meditation, Creativity, and Consciousness. Power of Depth Dimension, pulling the object closer to us. Setting up. For the setting up, you will need a camera with a timestamp. Yananjana, this is optional. Any object with a stable bottom, chalk, wipeable marker or a pen, and paper, tape, and ruler. Let's take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, download the timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure that the time is shown on screen. Step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Now the guidelines. Before we start the manifestation process, let us go over a few steps to get ourselves ready. For the setup, step number 1, place a piece of paper in front of you and tape down the sides. Step number 2, place the object on the paper and draw an outline around the base. Step number 3, set up your camera to be focused on the object for the entire duration of the manifestation. Start. Step number 1, turn on the video recording with timestamp. Step number 2, apply Yananjana between your brows. If you have it, bring your awareness between your brow center and gently focus while connecting to Paramashiva. Step number 3, sit in front of the object. Step number 4, keep your attention fully on the object and drop any expectation that arises. Step number 5, sit unclutched for 21 minutes during the Mahavakya chanting. Step number 6, manifest pulling the object closer to you without physically touching it. Step number 7, after the Mahavakya subsides, verify how much the object has moved beyond the outline. Step number 8, with the object in view at all times, slowly bring the camera close to capture the object's movement. Take your ruler and measure the distance the object has traveled. Step number 9, after you have recorded the distance of the movement, you can turn off your camera. Step number 10, celebrate with gratitude your manifestation of moving the object. Let us now listen to the spiritual instructions.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck, and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually, our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and our egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg, and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hence, sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada, makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes these external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful, avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just a nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shape form.
It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thoughts. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, It should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya, pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here, Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness, through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea-based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nityananda. Nityananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivaham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Jnananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Jnananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda
Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please be sure to thoroughly verify the following. Step number 1, time and date stamp appear on your video. Step number 2, video has a wide angle horizontal view and full view of the object at all times. Step number 3, video recording is continuous without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Step number 4, that video is unedited in any way and the camera has not moved during the manifestation process. Step number 5, at end of manifestation, you may need to reposition the camera to capture the movement of the object on the ground. Step number 6, with a ruler, measuring the distance the object has traveled beyond the drawn outline. Step number 7, now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will guide you how to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power Groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra. Thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the power manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nityananda Paramashivam Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnanapaddhati, Nityananda Jnanapaddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nityananda.
Om Nityananda परमशिवोऽहम्